recent work on post-quantum non-malleability. First, don't run away when you see the word quantum. I promise that in this talk there's only 1 minute about quantum. Everything else will be classical. So you should assume you can understand it. Yeah, I should go to full screen. This is joint work with Pang and Andy, who's my previous advisor, and also Takashi Yamakawa, who's from NTT, California. Okay. First, let me motivate this problem using a very typical example. Consider this option. The rule is like this: all the bidders commit to their price using a standard payment scheme, and give the committed price to the auctioneer. After this stage, the auctioneer announced the beginning of the decommit phase. Then all the parties decommit the price. Whoever pays the highest price will get the target. It sounds like a reasonable procedure, right? But let me show you a test. So, for example, Alice commit to $100. Then this malicious bot somehow intercept this commitment and play with it locally. Just add $1 to it. Use this maliciously generated commitment as his share. Now, if both parties decommit, obviously bot will win. So let's take a closer look at this attack. Maybe you think that, okay, commitment scheme is hiding, right? How can Bob play this kind of trick? But the thing is, to conduct this attack, Bob doesn't need to know what is Alice's price. He just wants to add $1 to it, right? Actually, there are some commitment scheme that is designed especially for this purpose, like homomorphic commitment scheme, right? So, non-malleability is a notion proposed to protect against such attack by Dolan and Nor in early 90s. So the goal here is to remove the dependency between Bob's commitment and Alice's commitment. So let's first turn this requirement into a formal definition. In this definition, we consider the so-called man-in-the-middle execution. In this execution, you can see that this is just exactly the same setting from the previous slide. I just put it in a different topology. Now, this is what we call left session. The left session allows the committer into a message app to the man-in-the-middle adversary. In the right execution, the man-in-the-middle adversary plays the role of a committer, and he is committing to the some message, which we haven't defined now, to the receiver. So here, our goal is to make the left committed value and the right committed value they should be independent. So how do we require this formally? We will care about this pair of numbers. So this view is nothing but the view of the middle adversary. It includes the transcript and the internal state of the middle adversary. And this MQTAG we defined as the value statistically bound in the right transcript. For now, let's focus on statistical binding kind of scheme. I mean, there is a notion for non-malleability for universal binding scheme, but it's a little bit complicated. And I would say the statistical bounded version is the more commonly used one. So let's focus on this one. So we focus on this pair of random variables. So then it's quite natural to say that if the left session and right session are independent, that means if the Alice change her commitment from M0 to a different M1, then this joint distribution of the view and the right committed value should be indistinguishable, right? But if you set the definition in this way, actually, no matter how hard you try, you cannot satisfy this definition because there is a hard to deal with attack. So the man in the middle, sitting in the middle, he doesn't do anything. He just relay the message from the left to the right, and also right to the left. For this trivial attack, you can see that the left committed value and the right committed value will always be equal. This is a non-trivial relation. If you switch this value to from M0 to M1, the right committed value will also change from M0 to M1, right? Like, you cannot protect this kind of attack. So this is a definitional issue. So you just if you cannot protect this, you just rule this out from definition. So then people consider the notion of pair-based or identity-based commitment scheme. This is actually the standard notion for non-malleability. So what is this tag? This tag is for any commitment scheme. You can think that there is a tag or identity integrated into the commutation. And if you want to copy this communication from the right to left, from the left to the right, then you are bound to copy the tag. So then we just modify the definition to focus only on the tag-based content scheme and to compare this condition, like when the left tag and right tag are not equal. In this way, we rule out that trivial attack. So for this tag, you can see that for assume the existent one functions, you can convert any content scheme to be a tag-based one. So this almost comes for free, so you don't need to worry about this. Okay, what do we know about this primitive? So yeah, due to the limit of the time, I won't explain all these papers in the classical setting, but I just want to emphasize that on the theoretical side, the results are pretty beautiful. After a long run of research, we eventually get the constant round construction from the minimal assumption of one functions. This is by homework by Doyle and Liang and us. Now, what do we know in the quantum setting? This post-quantum setting means the honest party should be classical. However, the adversary could be a quantum machine. So in this world, we also want non-malleability. So the first idea is why can't just take classically known constructions and change the underlying assumption from DB to LWE? Actually, it doesn't work. Especially for these constant round constructions. The reason is all these basically these are all the paradigms for constant round non-malleability in the classical world. All these techniques relies heavily on state cloning. This, if you view it from through the quantum lens. So when I say state cloning, actually it means in the classical proof you need to freeze in the middle, the internal state of some point, and keep running, continuing from the freeze point. So this technique, like if you view it through a quantum lens, is actually state cloning. So all these techniques rely on state cloning. So you cannot do that in the quantum due to the non-cloning theorem. So in quantum, basically there are two known results. The first one is this paper by Bravo et al. Their goal is to build the first constant round post-quantum MPC. So you know that if you want to build MPC, non-malleable column, you have to build it first, right? So they build a construct from super polynomial harness of LWE. It's constant round. And they only achieve non-malleability in a restricted sense. They don't explain later. That's the first one. The second result is a recent work by Nancy Schmani and Liang, together with another paper. This paper basically gives you an extractable pendant. This is a compiler. If you have an extractable pendant, they can give you a non-malleable pendant. So this work together gives you the first log star lambda. Lambda is security parameter, a construction from the minimal assumption of a post-quantum one function. That's all we know. But the central question in this area remains open. Can you have a constant round post-quantum secure non-malleable pendant from the minimal assumption of post-quantum one functions? So in this work, we answered the question in the political. So before talking about our construction, we need to just define some terminology. So as I said before, there will be a tag. So then the question is how many tags your scheme want to support. I mean, the golden rule will be that you want to support exponentially many tags. This is similar to the identity-based encryption. The number of tags represents the number of players your scheme can allow. So you eventually want exponentially many tags. However, the practice in this area, you start with a small tag space. If you can support polynomial tags, have a scheme to do that, then you can use knowing compilers. Sometimes we call it tag amplifier to convert it to a scheme that supports more tags. This is the notion of small tag, large tag. Large tag means exponentially many tags. Small tag means polynomially many tags. A prior fixed. Okay. Another notion is one setting. That means you can see this is a picture. So before, when you prove non-malleability, you can put some restrictions. For example, you can have a scheme that achieves non-malleability only if the left tag is strictly smaller than the right one. If t is equal or greater than is t tilde, maybe you don't have any security guarantee anymore. So this is a restriction for one setting. Another notion is synchronous. This is the one I talked before. Synchronous means just basically parallel execution. All messages are parallel very well. You won't have the schedule. So receive the message in left, the non-malleability will respond immediately in the right. Then asynchronous is a general schedule. Basically, any schedule you can think of. The schedule is controlled by the error screen. Yeah, it can order the message and in any way goes. Okay, with this terminology, let me show you the roadmap for our construction. So we first build a non-malleable command scheme in the classical setting. This time it's only secure against the classical addresses and under these strong restrictions. And yeah, if you have such a scheme in the classical world, there are non-compatible or tag amplifiers to remove all these restrictions for you. For example, we is one of the compators. So this one work is already interesting because, as I said before, there are basically in the classical setting for constant round non-malleability, there are only 3 paradigms. Our construction gives you the 4th one. Actually, that just diversify the existing strategies. The main virtue of our construction is our scheme is designed on purpose such that it allows you to contact the security proof. You can easily lift the security to the quantum board. Yeah, this will be the one main quantum talk later, but as you understand the classical construction, you immediately see why it extends to quantum. But as I said, in the classical setting, there is a compiler. However, this compiler works only for the classical setting. In the quantum setting, you need to do some extra work to do these restrictions. But due to time limit, I won't talk about this. It's not trivial, but our main contribution will be the construction of these special design classical layout. Okay. If you have such a constant post-quantum non-level component, you can plug it into the APGM construction to have the first constant MPC, post-quantum MPC from polynomial assumptions only. Here is their original construction named super polynomial construction. Because our construction assumes only post-quantum Y function, standard one, then you can remove the super polynomial part assumption. Okay. Now let's start. I'll follow this construction under the restrictions. So this construction, it's easy to describe. I will first describe the scheme to you because in the world of non-malleability, it's hard to explain intuition at the beginning. I think it feels better if you see the construction and then I explain to you why we divide it this way. Okay. So at the beginning, the committer is committed to a message, his message, using the standard statistical binding commit scheme. And then here is interesting is the receiver. The receiver, honest receiver, will sample T one function image. This T is the number of text in the size of text and give it to the committer. Next, the receiver gives the proof, witness indistinguishable proof of knowledge, proving that okay, I know one of the pre-images. The committer just give another report. It proves okay, I know the message I committed at the beginning, or I know one of the pre-images. You can see this is a hard puzzle. It has a T solutions. In this talk, when I say one function, I mean injective one function. But as long as you understand this construction, I promise there is a simple trick to remove the requirement of injectiveness. So in this talk, I will keep using injective one function. You can see this is a hard puzzle. It gives the committer a chance to set up a trapdoor. If you are able to learn one of the pre-images, you will use it as a trapdoor here. However, if you don't know the trapdoor, the honest committer can always prove the first part of the or completion. Okay. So that's all. That's our construction. It's easy to state. Now let me put it in my middle execution. This is exactly the same concept. The only difference is here we have T theta many one functions because the second method is the only place that depends on the type. All the others are the same. So that's construction. This is my middle execution of the construction. Here we want to prove it's not malleable, right? Just follow the definition. This is the statement we want to prove. When the committer change committed value from M0 to M1, the distribution recall the view together with the right committed value. The joint distribution is computationally indistinguishable. Okay, that's okay. Now, I'll first start with a naive attempt. You want to prove this, right? So you need to build a reduction. So what can I reduce to? It's a computational play. So the first naive thing to try is an OR statement. It has binding. Now you're changing the value committed inside. So if this distribution changes, you will hope, okay, maybe I can break the hiding property of the active count. So let's do this. You can see this number and his external challenger commit to M0 or M1 by toss random coin. And we embed this commitment at the beginning of the okay. Yeah. Anyway, this time. So we want to prove this statement, right? Here. Okay, there's a problem. If you look at this statement, view of f, that's okay, it's just a view of my middle f. However, there is a m tilde, which is a value statistically bound from this transcript. Actually, this statement is not falsifiable. You cannot learn left committed value efficiently, right? So the first thing you need to deal with is how can you learn this m tilde efficient? Otherwise, you cannot your reduction will be efficient. So here is one idea of it. You can see this state is default. It has a not default. You rewind this state to rewind this program to try to extract the v tilde. I think that if the extracted v tilde equals to the value here with good probability, then you can use it to this one. Now this one, everything is efficiently computed. So if you cannot do this, you will break the hiding of the NAR scheme. Right. So it's not good, but actually it doesn't work. The reason is left before 2. This thing you can see the honest committer can only use this honest to do this part. He doesn't know what to use this one. So this part basically depends on the committed value m. If you want to build a reduction, you cannot make this part depend on the external challenger because you don't know the committed value. So the naive idea is like, okay, let's look at this. So let's remind this of 1 to extract the value x, whatever it is, as long as the value within you can use it to finish the report 2. So that is actually this doesn't work and actually exposes the main difficulty. Let me explain the reason. Now, in this, you extract the x. So you're rewinding my anniversary. Then my middle anniversary can also rewind this report 1 on the other side. And when you switch the witness in report 2, the middle also switch his witness in report 2. Now, maybe the middle is when he switch witness, it's not using the M2 anymore. So this v tilde you extract may not be M2 anymore. You don't have this inverted condition. You see, this problem on the superficial reason is you're rewinding this report 2. So maybe you will hope, okay, this is report, so it's WI. When I switch the witness using here, my middle cannot switch the witness in this one, right? Because of this state WI. Okay, actually, WI doesn't give this guarantee. The superficial reason is because you are rewinding this state. When you are rewinding the code, you cannot rely on its WI property anymore. However, the deeper reason is what you require now is not WI. You are saying that someone gives my adversary number, then the adversary gives another number. You want to say, when I switch WI here, my middle won't switch his witness used here. This is the non-malleability requirement. You are saying the witness used in this side and in this side, they are independent. Standard WI doesn't capture this. So this is the middle way. You cannot hope WI solve this problem. But here, what we want to do is we need to design the mechanism such that when we are cheating here, we somehow make sure the middle cannot cheat on this side. That's the main thing we need to do to ensure non-malleability.
So can I pause just to, so I think I got a little lost, to be honest. Maybe it's, so is T and T tilde the tags, or is it just the number of, so what's T and
T are the tags, but your construction has to somehow depend on the tag.
Okay.
Your construction must somehow depend on the tags.
Okay, so it's just an index here. So it's just the number. So,
yeah. It decides the number of one function images you will use.
Okay, and t tilde is bigger than t? Or?
Yeah, that's a one-sided requirement.
Okay, so they're doing one-sided. Okay, so pretty much the adversary is the attack is on the tilde side, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it's producing all these. So I guess I don't know, why can't the attacker just copy the y's from the other side and then...
If I copy this one, this two tags will have the same tag.
Receiver.
If you hit copy this message, they will have the same tag. If you are using same tag in the tag, it's like we don't care about this case. You can cheat, and I cannot protect against that.
Okay. Okay, so the attacker is coming up with the y1s through yt, right? Or the attacker's the man in the middle?
Yeah, he is sending this message.
Okay, and then it should just be likely that the R guy chooses different ones, or?
Actually, this tag, you can think that the committer decides the tag, and the receiver just know it and agree on with this tag.
Okay, and it's bigger. Okay, but the receiver then chooses the y1 tilde through yt tilde itself?
Yeah.
Okay. And then... Okay, and this is still in the classical setting?
Yeah, still in the classical setting.
Okay, yeah, maybe you can continue.
Sure. This kind of the construction must depend on the tag. It happens for all the constructions normally they can. I guess you're familiar with the GOL 11. Yeah. I mean, anyway, in all these constructions, your design must have to somehow take advantage of the tag.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that principle. It was just maybe on the next slide there were a lot of words, but I didn't.
I see.
Maybe get them.
Yeah. So we were here, we want to design the mechanism to make sure that we are cheating on this side. But 12 minutes. I don't think. Okay, sure. This doesn't work anyway, but let's give this a name, H0. Now I want to show you another game, H1. So in this game, I will show you a way to guarantee the fact that we can cheat, but the man in the middle cannot. So in this world, first, this world is the same as H0, but I do not revamp report 1 anymore. But which witness you will use to finish report 2, I will explain later. So here, I want to make an observation. So how many witnesses the honest receiver can use for this report 1? It's just T tilde 1, all the premiums. Similarly, here, the man in the middle has T witness. Here, you can see that there is an asymmetry. T tilde is greater than T. So if you change you can think this way, the receiver use x1 tilde, then the man in the middle also use x1. When the receiver changes to x2 tilde, the man in the middle may be changed to x2. You can imagine this procedure. Just by the pigeonhole principle, I claim there exists a xk in this set and a xisj tilde in this set, such that when the receiver using xi tilde, man in the middle use sk. When the receiver changes to xj tilde, the man in the middle also uses sk. It's just pigeonhole principle because T tilde is strictly greater than T. Okay, with this observation, I want to see. Let's say if I'm using this sk for this report 2, when I use xi tilde in the right, I claim that the extracted v tilde must take value m tilde or xi tilde, because that's the only information. That's the only witness man in the middle know. If he doesn't know, if he cannot break the witness of these one functions. Similarly, you can say the same thing for xj tilde. So for these two choices, the man in the middle will use x tilde or xi tilde or m tilde xj tilde. So if you look at this statement, you can build a reduction relying on the wi property of the report 1. To prove that the extracted value must be m tilde. It cannot be the second column. It must be the m tilde. The reason is you have two witnesses to use in this report 1. It's xi tilde or xj tilde. When you switch between these two witnesses, the extracted witness V tilde in this stage cannot change. If it changes, you break the Wi of the V1. Remember, we are not rerunning this stage anymore, so we have Wi guarantee. So then that means in the two cases, your extracted value must be the same. So the only possible choice for this is M2. So in this way, you can prove when you switch witness here, man in the middle cannot switch witness here with this result. So it has to be MQ. Yeah, that's the most important step. Like the main intuition use the pigeonhole principle to argue what we want. However, this you can see that this game is not well you cannot use it immediately because there are difficulties. For example, how do you know this pigeonhole tuple? Right? It's I know that they exist. However, I don't know how to extract them and use them. Right? The second issue is previously I was cheating. I tell you there is a one-to-one correspondence between the witness used in this left epoch and right epoch. However, it's possible that when the receiver changed the witness used in variable 1, the man in the middle, he changed the distribution of the witness he wants to use instead of control values. What does that mean? When the receiver uses x1 tilde, man in the middle use uniform distribution to pick one value from this set to finish this stage. When you switch to x2 tilde, man in the middle now choose from a Gaussian distribution from this set. So the previous pigeonhole argument is very simplified. The actual way is that you shouldn't talk about concrete values, the correspondence of values. You need to talk about the distributions. Pigeonhole argument in a distribution way. Due to time limit, I won't have time to explain how that can be done. But but in summary, what we have is we have a game 0, which is efficient. However, we cannot prove invariant condition. We also have a game H1. We can prove invariant condition, but we have this problem. We don't know the pigeonhole tuple, and the pigeonhole argument need to be done in a distributional fashion. And our idea is you can design the hybrids cleverly to jump between these two games to achieve the best of them, and do the pigeonhole argument in the distributional manner. That gives you the main lemma. Okay, the main lemma says if man in the middle convince the receiver with good probability, then there exists some good I. I don't know which one, but I know there exists one. I can extract M tilde from that one with good probability. So, yeah, I don't have time, but let me just tell you the high-level structure of this extractor. Once you have this main lemma, your extractor will first run the game like H0. You extract witness and use it here. If the main execution is not accepting, then you don't need to extract anything. However, when the execution is really accepting, you need to extract the M tilde committed here. To do that, this lemma tells you there is a good I. You just pick a random one and to see if this is a good one. You just keep trying this by large enough polynomial times. You will extract the committed M tilde with some noticeable probability. That's enough. As long as you can extract it with noticeable probability, I assure you you can finish the reduction to break the hiding property of NOR scale. So yeah. Why this is quantum secure? The reason is you just look at the structure. It has this extractor. It has a structure that random thread are then rewound and to keep using random i's to finish the remaining part below the red line. Just keep doing this. This is reminiscent of the well-known classical extractor call. This scheme, I think everyone knows that. It's just a two-band matrix where each column XOR to the same message. And the receiver challenges the communicator just open one position for each column. So to extract information from this equivalent scheme, you just keep sampling new bits, and it gives you the new openings. By two different openings, you can extract the value M. So this scheme is classically extractable component, and there is a paper recently showing that this security proof can be quantized because of the similar structure of this extractor and this extractor, main thread and rewinding. If you generalize this CCLY lemma, you can show this extractor is also quantumizable. Okay, basically that's all. The main difficulty is you need to design a new technique to prove non-malleability in a constant round regime, without using seed cloning. What we did is we gave an extractor that don't use seed cloning and have this nice main thread and then rewinding structure. Then you can use existing quantum technique to make it context. Yeah. I want to emphasize that even if you have this quantum rebinding technique, just plug it into the existing non-malleable spins. It doesn't work. You need to use this new idea. Yeah. Paper is on E-frame. The idea is simple, but the real proof to get it work is super complicated. It's 90 pages. So yeah, if you want, go and check out.
All right, thanks. We're going to talk to Xiao during the break, and we'll resume at 1:45.